Hey guys, Ashley here. Today I'm going to show you how I got this super dewy, glowy, summer looking skin. So this has been my favorite face application for the summer season so far, and I want to go ahead and show you guys how I went about getting this look. If you are new to my channel, this is your first time watching, welcome. My name is Ashley. I really hope that you will subscribe and stick around for future videos. And if you do like this video, give it a thumbs up as well, guys. It really helps me out. And that being said, let's just go ahead and get right into the look. Okay, so for starters, we are going to have to prime our face. Today, I'm just going to be using the Laura Mercier Foundation Primer. This is just a sample size that I got for free with my points from Sephora, but I wanted to utilize this, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply that. I'm just going to apply that using this flat foundation brush that I have. This is a Wet n Wild foundation brush. So I'm just going to go ahead and get some of that on the brush. I chose this particular primer for this look because it is not my typical, like, mattifying oil-free primer, such as how I usually wear like the Benefit Professional or the Smashbox primer that I have that I use sometimes. Those just tend to be more mattifying and more for oil control, but obviously we're going for a dewy, glowy look today, so that's not going to be the primer that we're going to choose. So you want to choose something like this that is more lightweight and somewhat moisturizing, but priming at the same time. It's going to grab onto the product. This foundation routine is not going to work for everyone. If you are someone with very oily skin, you probably want to stay away from this. I personally tend to be more combo dry, combo slightly more on the dry side. So that's why I do well with these products and why I choose to wear them the way that I do, because I need that extra moisture and boost. But like I said, if you're somebody who has very oily skin, you might want to stray away from this, and you might want to be somebody who uses a more mattifying, oil controlling primer. I'm just going to apply some Benefit Erase Paste, which looks like this. It's just a salmon shade of concealer. I'm just going to apply this under my eyes to do a little bit of color correcting before I pop my foundation on, because I do have such dark circles. Now that we just have that kind of packed on under there, I'm just going to go ahead and take my Real Techniques beauty sponge. This is wet, that's why it's as large as it is. You should always wet this first. Also, especially for when you're going for a dewy, glowy type of finish, that added moisture that's going to be in your sponge is going to help contain the moisture to your look. So I'm just going to use this to tap that out. Now we can get into the fun part, which is going to be the foundation. So for this, I'm going to be mixing two shades, and I'm also going to be mixing in another product with it to add to the dewiness. When I mix my products, I like to use, this is a mirror that I got from the dollar store. It's meant to be like a candle topper mirror that you would put a candle on top of this. But these are great, and they're only $1 at the Dollar Tree, and I just picked one up so that I could use it kind of as like my foundation palette. It's easy to cleanse off, and you can sanitize it to make sure that this stays germ-free. Today, the foundations that we are going to be using are the new L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow foundations. I have these in shade 205 Natural Beige, and I have shade 203 Nude Beige. 205 being my tanner color and 203 being my lighter color. However, right now my self-tanner, I don't have any on my face, but I don't know if you can tell I have self-tanner on my body. So right now though, this isn't a fresh self-tan, so it's faded. So I'm going to mix the two of these together to get the actual color that I want. As if that's not enough as it is, I am going to mix in my Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. This is Jaclyn Hill's in Champagne Pop from her Champagne Glow collection. And this is a liquid luminous product that you could use as a liquid highlight that you could tap onto your highlight areas of your face, or you can mix it in with other products. For example, your foundation, which is what we're gonna do today. So this has a nice pump on it, just like that, and I'm just gonna add a pump to this. Just like that. So now you can see I have all three products mixed together, and I'm gonna go ahead and take a brush now and kind of stir them together and get that applied onto my face, and then we're gonna blend it out. To do that, I'm going to take my Sigma Flat Top Kabuki, which just looks like this. It's a little dirty right now because I did just use this yesterday, and we're gonna be using this today. And I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of stir this together with that brush. Then I'm gonna start applying this to my face. So I'm just gonna tap around evenly. Now I find with this foundation, I know I've seen a lot of people talk about how they love this product with a beauty blender, how it applies. I am such a fan of beauty blenders. I definitely prefer to use them all the time, but I found with this, the last time that I used it with a beauty blender, that I felt like it's so liquidy that my beauty blender like absorbed a lot of the product. So I just like to get it on there with a brush basically, and then I tap over it with my beauty blender afterwards. As you can see, this is obviously very, very dewy. A little too dewy at this point, but we are going to be setting with products. So the reason that I kick it up a notch with adding more dew to the product is because that way I find that the dewiness peeks through more underneath your setting powder, because I do like to set my face with a powder before I go in with my contour and whatnot so that the rest of my products don't apply patchy. Now, not that I don't like the way that this applies with a brush, but like I said, I just prefer a beauty blender. So after I have that all on, I'm just gonna quickly tap over with my beauty blender. And even though this is not a very full coverage foundation, you kind of want that in the summertime. You want your skin to peek through, you know? And if there's anywhere that you need extra coverage, you can just go ahead and do that with concealer. Now that we've done that, I'm gonna go ahead and conceal my under eyes. And as you guys know, my favorite product for doing that is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer, and I have this in shade medium. So again, with that same concealer brush that I used the Benefit Erase Paste, I'm just gonna go ahead and apply some of this on there. And you can see how thick this is. I love this concealer, I'm obsessed. And I'm gonna blend it out with my sponge. Whatever's left on this brush, I'm just gonna go ahead and tap over any areas that I might want to conceal. A little redness around my nose. So now as you can see, my dark circles that I had are essentially gone. This concealer works wonders. In order to prevent creasing, you're gonna want to bake under there, essentially. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my La Mercier translucent setting powder, and I'm gonna take that sponge, right? So first, you want to get under there one last time because you wanna make sure you're evening out any crease that may be happening in the middle of this process, and then dip right into your product, get a good amount on there, and you're gonna press that right under your eyes. You don't need to bake your whole face like people do today, but it is good for your problematic areas. So for me, that's under my eyes, and I'm just gonna tap what's left around my nose here. This is my Mineralized Skin Finish in shade medium, which just looks like that. And I feel like this just has such a silky finish to it. It's not dry looking at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my big e.l.f. Kabuki brush and tap right in there. And this is what I'm gonna set the rest of my face with because it's less drying. So I'm just gonna very lightly brush around my face. You're not trying to really pack this on. It's not like your goal is to create any coverage with this. This is literally just to set everything so it stays in place and so that you can lay your contour and other powder products on top of it and they aren't going to apply patchy. So as you can see now, we've set, but you can still see that dewiness peeking through from the foundation that we used. Okay, so now off camera, I'm gonna go ahead and contour, and I will be back to show you my next step. Is the Cover FX Enhancing Drops. This is in shade Moonlight. If you haven't seen these yet, they are liquid. They come in a dropper like this, and it is a liquid highlight, and they are super metallic and definitely give you that intense, wet highlight. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply some to the tops of my cheekbones. And you want to work kind of quick with this too because it does set. And I'm going to blend this out using my Beauty Blender. And as you can see, that product gives you such an insane wet looking highlight. I'm so in love with these. I need them in more shades. For my blush combination, I've been loving from the Jaclyn Hill face palette. When I want to be glowy, I am loving taking Amaretto and Rosé Spritz, which is a luminous blush. It almost has a little bit of a shimmer in it. Now I'm going to go ahead and just finish off my highlight, which for that, I like to use my Glow Kit in Sun Dipped. Actually, for this part, I do tend to switch it up a lot. I have all three of the Glow Kits. I have a lot of other highlighters. I have the two that are in that Jaclyn Hill face palette. Really, anything of your preference will do, but I swap up this part a lot. The rest of this routine essentially stays the same, but definitely my powder highlight, I switch up here and there. So I'm just going to go ahead. Lately, I've been loving, I'm going to use that same blush brush. I have been loving taking Summer and Moonshine and mixing them together. And then I'm just going to go ahead and take my sponge and just press those areas so that they are more melted into the skin. This is the finished look, and it is super dewy and glowy and beautiful for the summertime. So that is it for this look, guys. I hope that this was super helpful for you. In case you wanted to get a beautiful, dewy, glowy look for this summer and you weren't sure how to go about it, maybe you want to give these products a try, and I hope that my process of applying these products was also helpful for you. If you end up trying this, let me know down in the comments below. If you are new, welcome. I hope that you will subscribe. I would love to have you around for future videos. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So I will talk to you in my next one.